Hello, everyone. It's Serenity. So, last time I talked about, well, the last few videos I've talked about the 144,000, the sons and daughters of God. Also, the hybrids that were produced. So, there would be this immortality basically slowly introduced to mortals. So, what I want to go into today is more about basically because I also told you that Ham was one of these hybrids, one of Noah's sons, that also went on to father Canaan, or what is known as Canaan, or the Canaanites, those that descended from that nation, the Egyptians, and whatnot. So, what I want to do is read Genesis 6:4 one more time and actually expand on that. Okay, Genesis 6:4. There were giants on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. These were the mighty men who were of old, men of renown. Now, notice here it says there were giants on the earth in those days, and also afterwards. Now, ask yourself, if the flood truly killed all of these giants and these, you know, evil, wicked ones, why were there giants still on the earth even afterwards, after the flood? Like I said, Ham was a hybrid. And also, I also told you that these ones are immortal and there are other beings in other dimensions who can come and go, and they still did at the time in order to basically keep the true God's values, principles, all of these things still going in civilizations. So the next thing I actually want to read is Numbers 13, okay? Um, where this was the 12 spies from each tribe of the nation of Israel. Now, I want to clarify that in Revelation chapter 7 and verse 4, those Israelites, or the 144,000, are not the same as these 12 tribes that this rebel God or this Lord God created as his own nation. Once again, I told you he's constantly trying to have his own nation because he literally wants to imitate the true God. And he does this because he wants to be God. So he basically assumes different things that the true God has already done for himself. Um, but he's trying to imitate, but he can never be the true God. That's the thing. It's like you're an imposter. You're not the original. No matter what you do and how many people you fool, you are still not the true God. Period. Anyway, so in Numbers 13, these 12 spies and these 12 tribes, I just wanted to bring it out, are not the same. So these so called Hebrew Israelites would be the ones that actually are this rebel god, Satan. He goes by many names throughout history because, once again, when he's defeated and his purpose that he wants isn't attained, he changes his name into something else. Okay? Okay, so these ones in Numbers 13 and verse 1, it talks about these men going out, these children of Israel. Now remember, it's still, Israel is God's fight because this rebel has made himself God. So now he has a nation of Israel, which is his fight because he has placed the title of God upon himself. Okay? So these ones went out. They scoped the land as spies, and what did they find? Let's see. So in Numbers chapter 13 and in verse 27, it says, Then they told him and said, We went to the land where you sent us. It truly flows with milk and honey, and this is its fruit. Now, this is basically just saying that this land was abundant. very plentiful. Okay? Now in 28, nevertheless, the people who dwell in the land are strong. The cities are fortified and very large. Moreover, we saw the descendants of Anak there. Okay, so the descendants of Anak basically would be these ones that have a genealogy going back to Ham, like I said, Egyptian kings and queens, various things. If you research it, you'll see who really these descendants were, all the way down to the Canaanites as well. So in 32, and they gave the children of Israel a bad report of the land which they had spied out, saying, the land through which we have gone as spies is a land that devours its inhabitants, and all the people whom we saw in it are men of great stature. 33. There we saw the giants, and in parentheses, the descendants of Anak came from the giants. And we were like grasshoppers in our own sight, and so we were in their sight. So here, once again, you see these descendants basically of Ham being giants. Now, they were giants compared to the ones that this rebel God basically created and whatnot. So that was the case. And I know a lot of people are like, well, if they're giants, how can they be conquered and all of this other thing? The thing about, and this is still down to this day, people who really are spiritually aligned and enlightened do not kill unnecessarily, period. They look at life completely differently than the ones that this Lord God basically conditions and creates to be heartless and selfish and not think of anyone else. So later on, you know what happens. Basically, they colonize. They first scope it out, wait a little while, bring back an army, reinforcements, take over the land, and make it their own. Does that sound familiar? This has been done literally continent after continent, and it's done in the name of, they're doing these conquerings and these defeats in the name of their God or religion. And this is literally demonic. It originates with the rebel, Satan the devil. So this whole mindset of let's go conquer, take over these nations that other people actually have and own, that were given to them by the true God, steal it basically. This whole concept is demonic. It originates with the original liar, the one who turned against the true God. So that's what I wanted to bring out for today. Um, because I know a lot of people are like, why don't she just do this? Why don't, they do this, that, and the other thing? Why are they always defeated? Because of that. But yes, you have to get tough. You learn to get tough to survive. But at the same time, you realize when you yourself bring yourself to the same level and vibration of these lower vibrational entities, you become them. So to do the same thing as they can do to another living being or creature is to become them. So knowing this and knowing that these beings are immortal, you still stick to your standard and your values. Even though you may lose your physical body, you don't lose your spiritual or light body. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. Okay, so that's it for today. I hope you guys are doing well. I love you all. Please stay positive. Like I said, don't let all of these forces around you let you vibrate at a lower frequency. Okay? Because that's exactly what they want. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.